Focus question is, how do I use the distributive property to simplify expressions? How do I use the distributive property to simplify expressions? Now, all right, the distributive property is applied when you have a number or a variable outside of parentheses, and then inside the parentheses you have a number and a variable. So this is an example of an expression where you would have to do the distributive property to simplify the expression. And what this means is 3 times x plus 3. All right, a number next to the parentheses means to multiply. Distribute means to spread around. It means you have to take this 3 and you have to multiply it by the x first. All right, so you have to do 3 times x plus, then you have to do 3 times 3. Okay? And when simplified, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. Bless you. So this is the simplified version of this expression. If you have 9 times a y plus 2, it's the same routine. You're going to take 9 times the y plus 9 times the 2. So you've got 9 times y plus 9 times 2. So that's 9y plus 18. Got good?
Yeah.
If there's subtraction in the parentheses, let's say you got 7 times 3x minus 2. You're still going to distribute, but be careful with this minus sign. This is going to mean 7 times 3x. So you've got 7 times 3x. Now, if there's a minus sign in the parentheses, then just bring down the minus sign. And then you've got 7 times 2.
So it would be negative 7 times.
Correct. You can do it 2 ways. You can make it negative 7 times 2, or you can say minus 7 times 2. There's, whichever way you do it, you're going to have a minus sign in your answer. So 7 times 3x is 21x. Minus 7 times 2 is 14. So it's either minus positive 14, or it's just negative 7 times 2, which is negative 14.
So we just leave it like that, we don't do anything else?
Correct. Without there being an equal sign in the problem, there's nothing else that you can do. Because remember, you can't add numbers without a variable to numbers with a variable. You can't combine the negative 14 and the 21x. They're not like terms. 3x times, don't make that a regular 3 on the outside, not a 3x. 3 times 5x minus 7. Again, that's a 3 times a 5x. Since this sign is minus, bring down a minus. And then it's 3 times the 7. So that would be 15x minus 3 times 7 is 21. All right, now outside the parentheses you have a negative, and on the inside of the parentheses you're going to have a positive. So we'll do 8 plus 3p. So here's where you got to be careful. You're going to be distributing this negative 2. So you've got negative 2 times 8 plus negative 2 times 3p. Your negative 2 times 8 is negative 16 plus negative 2 times 3p would be negative 6p. But you won't see it as plus a negative. You'll just see it as minus. So the simplest form would be negative 16 minus 6p. Negative 3 times 2x minus 4. And again, when you guys see the minus signs or the negative signs, you have to be careful. So we're distributing this negative 3 now. So you've got negative 3 times 2x. Bring down the minus sign. And then you've got negative 3 times 4.
12.
So negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. The minus sign comes down. And negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And again, you won't see two negative signs next to each other, just like you won't see a positive and a negative next to each other. So you have to simplify that. And you simplify subtracting a negative, it just becomes plus. So this becomes negative 6x plus 12. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to put a problem on the board. I want you to write it down. And then I want you to distribute. And then I want you to look up when you're finished and see if you did it correctly. Okay? We'll do about 5 guided practice like that. And then I've got about 10 problems for you to practice on your own today. Okay, so we're just going to write this expression down. We're going to take 5 times x plus 4 in parentheses. Write that down on your paper, please. Distribute it like we just did. And then look up and see if you got it correct. Don't look up until you're finished, though. 5 parentheses x plus 4. Everybody get 5x plus 20? Good, good, good. All right, on the outside of the parentheses, we're going to do a 7. On the inside of the parentheses, we got 4x minus 3. Anybody get 28x minus 21? Any questions? Try one with a negative outside the parentheses. Negative 5 times 2x plus 3. Everybody doing all right? Any questions?